Hello, everybody. My name is Catherine Van Der Laan. I want to open up how to make a resume that gets through AI. It's 2026. People are using ATS systems that use AI. I get through them with my team. I do this all the time, and I want to make sure that you have a resource that will help you do it yourself. So, if you want help, my team does it. And I personally do it for a lot of the day. Whenever we take on a new client, I'll do the final pass and a lot of the analysis. So let's get into actually how to do it. This is from my course, Get a New Full-Time Job. I just want to make sure that you are getting your interviews. Now, I'm going to go through a few things today, and it should be the most helpful thing that you see or that you do to get interviews. That is the whole purpose of submitting your resume. So if you've been ghosted, if you are getting rejection after rejection, let this is going to show you how to stop getting all those rejections and start getting interviews. So I'm going to share my screen as soon as I share. I use slides just to make sure that I stay on track and don't just ramble on and on and on. So let me share my screen and I'll be able to see when sharing. Anyway, so again, like I said, this is from my course, Get a New Full-Time Job. Uh, that I'm just going to go through lesson 2, create an AI-proof resume and cover letters. So we are going to go through cover letters too. My name is Catherine Van Der Laan. I'm a career leadership and financial coach. I own the company Saver Street. So saverstreet.com is where you will find me. I just really like to see people succeed. So I run the Get a New Full-Time Job. I run a reverse recruiting team that applies to jobs for people and really does constant data analysis to make sure that we are personalizing your job applications and making sure that you're getting those interviews. It's all about effectiveness. I also run a management course, so training new managers, a new manager course that some people take outside of their company and some people institute within their company for new managers. So that's actually very fun. Then I have a Christian financial coaching, regular one-on-one financial coaching, and I run a financial abundance course too. So that's not about manifesting. I don't believe in manifesting. It's not a thing. That doesn't happen. And if you hate me because I don't believe in manifesting, fine. But really, it's about concerted effort in one direction and knowing what you need to know about finances and investing and saving and all insurance and all the stuff. So anyway, so I run all of those things. Today we're going into creating an AI-proof resume and cover letter. I am not just going to show you a slideshow. I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So we're going to you've already if you've taken this course, and maybe I'll release the first video, but if you've taken this course, you already know your career path. You've been plotting the jobs that will create your ideal career. You know your next step. You know how to create a career for yourself, not just a string of jobs. You know where you want to be and how to grow to get to where you want to be. So how do you do that? Well, a well-crafted resume will get you through AI filters and land you an interview. Again, I do this every week, one of these sections. I actually do 2 a week. But anyway, so your resume and cover letter need to cater to 3 audiences. It needs to get through the AI filter. So that's a little computer algorithm, machine learning, um, that will sift through your resume and tell the recruiters, who's a good match for this job. We're going to get into exactly how that does it in a moment, but your resume needs to cater to these 3 audiences. It needs to get through the AI and see it has a lot of applications. Most jobs have maybe over 200 applications these days. It's a lot more than it used to be. But even when I was in a big company and hiring for different roles, I would get over 200 applicants then. So don't worry about the number. Worry about whether you're getting through the AI. Okay. So AI will release, I don't know, a few dozen resumes to the recruiter based on the recruiter's controls. So they'll say If your resume has an over 70% match or 80% match or 90% match, then most of the time it's 70%, then they will look at your resume. So then the recruiter looks at, a few dozen resumes and says, "Hey, I think these 5 or 6 or maybe 10 would be good matches. What do you think, hiring manager?" And that hiring manager then gets back to the recruiter and says, "Just uh, screen these 5 people or screen these 6 people. Don't screen too many." When I had a team of about 68 people, I this is a few years ago, but I would go through and say, "Okay, just release all of the resumes to me. I will take a look." I looked at every resume for maybe 5 or 6 seconds, which I think is normal. And I would pick out the top 4 or 5 and say, "All right, I'm going to screen them," mostly because I'm a little controlling, but I knew the job better than everybody else. So as a hiring manager, I did the screening because I wanted to suss out, and I'm pretty good at figuring out people's personalities and whether they would be a good match for the team and the role. But we get into that a little bit more when I do interview coaching and tell people the other side of interviewing so that they can best get through their interviews and get their job. But anyway, we won't get into that today. So so that's kind of the process. Or what you could do, and this is what my team does, which I may or may not go into today, we take your resume and cover letter, always write a cover letter, and we find the email address of the hiring manager or the hiring team or somebody we suspect would be on it based on the job description. We email it directly to that team. So no more than 5 people, usually 2 or 3. So we do that, and then that is not guaranteed to get you an interview, but it is much more likely to get you an interview. It's like 10 times more likely to get you an interview than, I think it's actually 12 times more likely to get you an interview than just applying. So that's really what we do. That's a lot more likely. So each resume needs to be modified to fit the job you're applying to. Hold on to that thought, because it's not about every single job it needs to be modified. We need to find how to modify it for the type of job. So you're not writing 100 resumes for the 100 jobs you're applying to. You're writing maybe 3 resumes for the 3 types of jobs you're applying to, and then modifying them just a tiny bit to maximize your chances of an interview. This, again, do it all day, every day. My whole team does it. So first, your resume needs to be, and okay, I made these slides a few years ago. So take all of this, uh, stop using 2 columns on your resumes. I'll say that first. ATS systems do not like 2 column resumes. I've run the tests, they just don't like them. They also don't parse them out well. So they will identify fewer keywords if you have those 2 columns. So use a 1 column resume. So these 2 sections here, this is a column over here, and this is a column. Don't do that. Have just 1 column on your resume. Okay. Like a paper. Okay. So that goes into it being easy to scan. Then, of course, use Grammarly when you're writing it so that it's written in proper English, has no grammatical errors, and make sure you are using your language, not AI's language. Like, I never say ensure. I'm not going to ensure that. I'm going to make sure that. I'm from Boston. I don't use the word ensure. So I'm going to make sure that yes, it's in proper English, has no grammatical errors, but also uses my language. So then, of course, make every bullet actions and results oriented. So use those action verbs and then go into your results. I'll get more specific in a moment in the very next piece. It needs to illustrate a story of growth to the role that you are applying to. So if you're applying to a senior CRA role, then you need to show your growth in clinical research. Okay. If you are applying to a QA lead role, you need to show your growth when you learned automation, when you learned, all different things, and show that you've been constantly learning and applying it in all of your roles all the way up. So your lowest a bit of experience can have very few bullets because it's your first job, right? So you did a little bit, nobody expected that much of you. Um, it can just be a few bullets, doesn't need to be much. Then, of course, it needs to be focused on not your needs. This is not your biography. It doesn't need to have everything that you've ever done in it. It needs to be focused on the needs of the hiring manager and the job. Put yourself in the hiring manager's shoes. What do they want from you? What should this job entail? So focus on those needs and format it for clarity so people can find what they're looking for. You get 5 seconds when somebody looks at your resume after it goes through the AI filter. You want to make sure they can find what they're looking for. So I bold keywords all the way through. And not every other word is bolded. It's just the things that they need to be looking for. So so here's what you do. And actually, I don't use Canva anymore. But you can just make sure you're using Helvetica or Arial or one of the fonts that ATS systems are good at parsing through. So you can Google that. Which fonts do ATS systems acknowledge and use? Can parse through. So you can choose a template on Canva, go for it. That's free and easy to use. The systems I use are not necessarily free. But this one is. Just make sure you pick a one column resume. Okay. Then you organize your experience and education in reverse chronological order and write each bullet using this format. This is what I was going to get into: action, results, and resources. So, for example, um, grew a product team with a restricted budget, and maybe I'd put the budget in there. Um, ooh, from grew a product team from 2 to 24 in one of my previous roles, right? 2 to 24 within 2 years, and um, with a restricted budget, and grew the portfolio from $1 million a year to $25 million a year. I'm making up numbers within 5 years or something like that. I'm making up numbers. That's unrealistic, 1 million to 25, unless there is a lot of investment. But anyway, so include your keywords within your resume. Now let's get into how to find those keywords. All right. So keywords are the key to getting through AI. And I'm going to show you what keywords are right now and then how to find them actually using AI and what my team does to find them. So there are positive and negative keywords. Okay. AI will help you find the positive keywords. It will not help you find the negative keywords. So you need to use your whole brain right here. You can't just say AI is going to do it for me. It'll help you find those positive ones, but not the negative ones. So here's how the system works for the positive keywords. So it goes through let's say you're going for a strategy director position. It goes through and will highlight. It doesn't show you this part, but it will pull out those keywords from the job description and create a chart. I'll show you how I do it. Um, at the same time, that AI ATS is finding negative keywords. So things that don't align to the job. That's why I say show a story of growth that's specific to the kind of job you're applying for. So it'll find things like if you are applying to a kind of let's say you're in pharma and you're applying for an operations role, but you talk a lot about a very specific kind of bench work. Well, it's related to operations, but really talk more about your management of budgets, your leadership of people, the processes you've improved, how you have helped with maintaining machinery and different kinds of things that show that you have an operations mindset. See the difference there? Um, so the negative keywords, I've had some uh, I've had some clients who will come to me and they have just a bunch of different stuff on their resumes. And say they're career changers or they are people getting back into an industry, and they have a ton of stuff that is completely unrelated. Like I had somebody with um, multiple different degrees that were unrelated. And so we took some of her degrees actually off her resume. And yes, it lowered her educational level, but they weren't looking for somebody who had 15 years of post high school education. They were looking for somebody that only had a few years of that, um, so that they wouldn't call her unqualified. They kept telling her, and the feedback kept saying, "You're you're overqualified for this role." So we took a few of those degrees off, and all of a sudden she was getting interviews. Now, the reason why she was moving towards something else, moving toward a different kind of role, is because she didn't like where she was. She didn't like the track she was on, and most of those roles were very underpaid. So so she changed what she was going for. Anyway, so we can find and highlight the positive keywords from each job. We put those into your resume in a seamless way, and which means within the bullets, just change some of the synonyms, elongate some of the bullets, trim out some of the fat, and that will seamlessly put it into your resume. Then we take away anything that takes away from the general narrative, or the expertise the hiring manager is looking for. So I gave you some of those. Let me show you exactly how to do it. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and I'm going to show you a few different things. Oof, my white hair is going everywhere. Um, so I use a tool called Notebook LM. And I just want to make sure that uh none of my okay, none of my eh, hold on. I want to make sure none of my clients' names are on this. So, all right, I'm gonna pull this over. Okay, client name's gone, I believe. Yes, gone. So you're gonna see some of the most recent stuff, and I use all different browsers, so this isn't all, but this is uh, some of the most recent stuff. So all right, let's say you find yourself in one of these roles. And we're going to just start from the very beginning here. Um, this is Google Notebook LM. This is an AI. Okay. So we're going to create an analysis. And because nobody's on the line here, I'm just recording this without anybody else here. I will make up a job title. So let's say you are looking for, um, uh, mm, oh, I wish somebody was here because then I say shout out how to do this. But um, let's look for something in finance. Let's find, oh, uh, look for mm, a financial analyst. Okay. Let's do a financial analyst role. All right. So then I go to a place called Hiring Cafe. Oops, let me find it. Hiring Cafe. And here's exactly what I do. So I'm make sure I have to do it on this screen so that I'm not revealing any client names, and then I drag it over. So, all right. So this is hiring.cafe. It's one of my favorite places to find new jobs. And we're looking for a financial analyst role. Now, what I'm not doing is changing this location right here. So, because all I want right now are a bunch of job descriptions to put into Google Notebook LM. So let's split the screen. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this a little smaller. Sorry, guys, you're going to need to be on a computer to watch this. I'm looking for financial analyst roles with a salary above, what do you think? What do you think? Maybe 80 grand? Let's see. So, all right, good. This usually weeds out junior roles when you put a salary cap on it. And I'm not looking for a junior role. I'm looking for somebody who has some experience. So all right. So we have analyst, enterprise strategy, don't really need that. Senior financial analyst, good. I want that. LA family housing. So right now the industry doesn't matter unless you are looking specifically in one industry. But I'm not going to look in one industry right now. You can. It's right here in industry. So, but I'm not going to. I am going to look for years of experience. So I want somebody with at least 3 years of experience by senior financial analyst. Here we go. So I'm going to open this. Then I'm going to hit job description. Da, 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 you believe the position. And look at this. I just hit copy text over here in Google LM, the position, senior financial analyst. Gonna get copy, experience, and paste just the job description. Then I'm gonna give it some space. I'm gonna do it to 10 of these. So I don't need a systems analyst. I don't need an application analyst. I don't know. Finance analyst. Okay, that's fine. So job description, Schumacher. Okay. Oh, I actually applied to that for somebody recently. About this role. Okay. About this role all the way down, technical skills, hybrid, don't care about any of that. Just want the job description and the kind of stuff they're looking for, the qualifications. So, okay, I don't want any of the benefits or anything like that. Pricing analyst, that's different. Senior financial analyst, okay. Oops, I hit apply here. So, I mean, you can do that, but I'd rather just grab it from here. So now down performance expectations, working conditions, that's fine. Um, okay, so we have three. Now let's keep going. Let's do staff analyst, don't want that. Operations, don't want that. Oh, financial analyst, early career. I don't want somebody early career. This person that I'm looking for, I imagine, has at least 4 years of experience. So let's look at this one. Job description, senior financial analyst, all the way down. These are roles that are currently posted right this moment in February 2026. So, all right, I have a few. I'm going to grab these two as well. So it's not going to be that hard. And sorry, this is boring, but this is real. This is exactly what I'm doing and what I do for people all the time. So let's grab this one. See, it's not that hard. Description. Oh, active secret clearance. I tend to take those out unless you actually have an active secret clearance. So let's see. One, two. All right. Oh, there's no job description. Not grabbing that one. They're all above 80. So let's see this one. All right. Financial analyst, how much physical? All right, so I have all this now, and I'm going to, that's not what I meant to do. Separate views. Okay, so now we're in here, financial analyst analysis. That's funny. And now here's what I say. I'm writing a resume. Can you please identify the keywords in this source and create a chart that shows the keywords, the sources, and the frequency of those keywords. I would like the context as well. Keywords is actually one word, so make that one word. Okay, now let's see what happens. So now it's looking just at this one source. And because I'm not hitting search the web for new sources, I'm not doing any of that. It is just analyzing this. Um, it's a great tool, by the way. You can analyze a lot of documents that way. What I don't like is when it's doing anything but analysis. And I do check out the sources. So see all these sources, high frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one is 9 times analysis and modeling. Like, of course, that's going to be in there. Budgeting and forecasting, of course it is. None of this should be a surprise to you. So I then, here, now you have your keywords. Ding, ding, ding. And you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It only gave you 12. Can you please expand the chart to show the top 35? Well, let's make it 36 round number. Keywords. Please use the same format. Okay. You want more than this. So more than 12, you want a lot of them so that you can go through and say, all right, here are the words that's actually they are using in these job descriptions. These are the keywords that AI is looking for, and will be assessing my resume from, based off. So it'll give you something now, and it'll show you how to do it. So let's see, financial analysis all the way down to same stuff. Month-end close, ad hoc analysis, strategic planning, Power BI, ERP systems, process improvement, communication, reconciliation. Of course, that's in there. KPI and dashboards, general ledgers. So now you have a lot of them. SQL, revenue, trade analysis, audit support, cost analysis, accruals, grant management. So you can go down this, DAX, Power Pivot, all that stuff. Oh, but pick what you actually have. Don't include all of this. So if you have never used Alteryx, don't put it in there. Be genuine, be authentic. Only put in what is true. So, and really happened, not made up. So, you can go through and ask it for an analysis, but I just like using this chart. So you go through, you get the chart, rebate analytics, great. That seems like pretty niche. If you've done it, great. If not, okay. Go ahead and find your resume after you've written it, used Grammarly, used the points that I gave you, and put these words in. I suggest you find 10 or 12 jobs that you would apply to if you lived in that area. Or maybe they're remote. Great. Finance can be remote. And you analyze a lot of them. That's what I do. I stopped just for time, but pull a lot of jobs. Then you'll get a much better, more rounded analysis. When I'm also applying to different jobs, sometimes I put them in a source here. Just if it seems a little different, I'll put it in a source here and say, what are the keywords from this job? And then I'll put them in the resume as I'm applying. So that's the per job change. You don't need to do more than that. You're not rewriting your whole resume. It should take no more than 5 minutes. So, all right. So that's how to get through the AI. If you're trying to get around the AI, I use only paid systems to find email addresses. So I'm not sure that would be super helpful to you. You can also just find an email address from the company, maybe one or two, see if you can figure out how they create their email addresses, and then find a few names at that company and what they do. So I use Contact Out. So go ahead and you can use that if you want to find people. It is a paid service. Contact Out. I don't get any commission for it. It's just I like it and I use it. My team uses it. And yeah, we pay for it. So that's what I use. And I hope this helps you get through AI. I hope this helps you create resumes. That's really what we have found to be most effective. So, anyway, if you want help, my name again is Catherine Van Der Laan. You should see a little thing. I recorded this on Zoom because it's easy. So you can come to me. It is a paid service. We don't work for free. So be prepared to pay for help if you need help. The only free thing is the stuff I put on YouTube. So I will, and I guess the consultation, but you're not going to pay for a consultation, but you should be prepared to pay for a service if you go to a consultation. So, all right, I will talk to you later. I hope this helped. Bye.